Hey everybody, I hope you're well. So it's funny when I do these videos. Sometimes I'll hit start and stop so many times because I speak from my heart, and sometimes stuff comes out of me that due to my awareness of what's going on in this world, and I don't want to really be negative. I don't want to, but it's something that's plagued me. I think because of my awareness, how awake I am. I've always grown up feeling odd, the odd one out. Never had trouble making friends. There was never an issue there, you know. But I just always felt the odd one out. And now look at me, at this point, right? 10 years of interacting with the family of Sasquatch, and I understand the skepticism and the denial and that, but at this point, when I first got involved in this and putting this stuff out there, most people are hanging on to that ape theory, that ape animal theory. And at this point, a lot more people are awakening, are opening up and seeing that, no, there's something else going on here. And it's contact that gives you experience, that gives you knowledge, not putting up trail cams or pheromone chips or banging on trees. That's not what gives you experience. You might get a reaction from them, that sort of thing. But until you interact with them on a personal level, until they reach out to you and show you things, show you their existence, show you their abilities, their invisibility, through physical contact, or their interdimensional nature through their ability to travel from a location and visit you at home, indoors, or in your dreams, that sort of thing. I've been putting this out now for 10 years that they've been showing me this stuff. And I remember way back in the beginning, I started realizing things and pointing them out to Dwayne, and he thought I was nuts. We've come a long way since, right? And I couldn't have done this without Dwayne, so I'm very grateful for that. But I also am quite sure that this was meant to be. When it first happened, there was a knowing that came with it. When I first met him, I didn't know him from Adam, before that, right? So, but when I first was given the information about activity, purported activity, I knew, something gave me a knowing. And now it's 10 years and 1,000 encounters later. I don't know how many it is, but probably well over that. We've probably accumulated over a couple thousand marbles at this point. Apports, I've seen so many come out of thin air. Usually come home with, one or a handful, pretty much every visit. And many of those have been witnessed that moment they enter this space, this realm. There's, like I said, there's been a lot of accusations tossed around over the years, which really it's an insult to my intelligence. Hey, I'm not an educated guy. I didn't stay in school, but you don't need a PhD to do this. In fact, it's kind of a detriment to progress and in learning what we're truly dealing with. If you're stuck in a box and you really can't step outside of it, for fear of ridicule, fear of losing face, fear of losing a paycheck, fear of damaging your career. I don't have that to worry about. I am an intelligent guy, but I'm not an educated man, and they're not synonymous. Education doesn't necessarily mean intelligence. But I've been given a gift that's been both a blessing and a curse, and it's alienated me from family, from friends, from those closest to me. Not everybody, but it's cost me relationships. This is my path, though. This is my journey, and there's been some that regardless of what I put in front of them, it doesn't matter. They have a difficult time believing it. And my knowledge and experience at this point, in time, it will show that this is real, and I know what I'm speaking about. I know what I'm talking about because of the vast amount of experience that has been given to me. As I said, I couldn't have done this without Dwayne. We're still friends. We still work together. Still interact with Neff's family, and some of the stuff that's been developed over the years, the written communication has shown me that they seem to know our history, our true history. They know what's going on behind closed doors, and they seem to know ahead in our timeline. To what extent, I don't know. Do I trust their responses at this point? Yeah, I would say I do. Honesty, they seem to hold in high regard, and they are compassionate, loving people, regardless of some of the things that people experience, and that they're the epitome of don't judge a book by its cover. Definitely, like the epitome of it. They can do things that are absolutely astounding, that change our whole understanding of reality. I'll never look at this world the same again. We're all being played with this whole big theatric shit show going on. It's just all smoke and mirrors. And the Sasquatch, to me, have shown me real truth, of who we are. And like I said, some of the responses I've been given over the years, it just to have the ability to gain answers, written responses from an interdimensional people is they are such efficient teachers as well. That just the amount of information they give with small gestures is incredible. A physical touch shows you their invisibility. A visit at home, indoors, from location to at home, and just shows their interdimensional nature and their understanding of consciousness, their understanding of energy. They are absolutely masters of energy. Over time, people are going to realize this. It's a shame there's so many that are in denial, that are still stuck on this Gigantopithecus ape animal mentality, putting up trail cams and pheromone chips still. It's not what they are, and you're not going to get any progress that way. That has proven futile over decades of people involved. There's pioneers involved in this subject, and of course, things have to develop, right? So we're now at that point, though, that we have grown past that to understand Sasquatch as a people, as an interdimensional race, and I'll bet the farm a UFO connection. I've always said this. I've had incidents myself. Dwayne has told me about an incredible experience he had way back. A couple of stories I've gotten out of the region that we interact in of Thunderbird type creatures that have been witnessed. I've had two sources tell me stories. One being a flock, 15-foot wingspan, about 15 of them, and it was the sound that blew their minds. The other one was a story of 4-foot tall, I think 4 of them, babies, sitting in a tree with skin-like scales. I think that was mentioned. So there is a dimensional wall, if you want to call it an invisible wall, an unseen veil that separates us. That I believe these cryptids, or these things that aren't supposed to exist, not in this timeline, anyways, that seem to drift in and out. There's enough things that have happened throughout history, and to show that there's a lot more going on than just this reality here. So, like I said, it's a blessing and a curse to be given this gift. So, anyways, I'm playing some audio that this stuff's all been posted before, right? But I sent an email to Steve asking permission to use an audio for comparison, for educational purposes, to show the similarity in the vocals to some of the stuff I've recorded from Neff. I never did hear back from him, so recently I did send him another email telling him, hey, I'm doing this comparison video to neow the vocals. So if you have an issue with it, tell me, let me know, and I'll make adjustments. And I never heard back from him yet. So, but if there is an issue, Steve, just let me know, and I'll make the adjustment. I appreciate that Steve has supported me in a couple of his videos. I don't really pay much attention. I know he puts out a lot of content. I just don't have time to stay on top of stuff. I don't really watch a lot of stuff on this subject anymore, just because it doesn't really, as much as I do have, it doesn't really show me anything that I haven't already experienced or know. I'm so far past a lot of the stuff that I see out there. So it just, to me, it's time consuming, and time is something that very valuable to me these days. But I do know Steve, he just wants answers and truth like I do, right? This is, I put out truth. I put out the real stuff. It's to see this subject evolve the way it has. I like to think, I've done my part to help shift the mentality of what we're truly dealing with. Way back, I was told by a well-known scientist involved that said, "You're so far ahead, it's a problem," and another one that said, "You're putting the horse or the cart before the horse. Let's have them recognized first, and before we jump down that rabbit hole." And I just couldn't do it. I couldn't go there. This, too little, too late. This is, I'm in this for truth, right? So the beautiful thing about this is I don't have to follow their rules. I don't have to follow any rules that any mainstream or scientist dictates, or anybody tries to dictate. I don't have to follow them. I make my own rules, and that's what I've done from day one. I think some people have a problem with that, and that's okay. It's my steadfast fortitude that has allowed me to, just plow through and bring stuff to the table that is just, it's incredible stuff. It really is. I've gathered a very significant, substantial library of Sasquatch vocal recordings. I've learned how they interact with humans. I know Sasquatch behavior. I'll never claim to be an expert. There never will be an expert. I can't see that ever happening. They're very secretive people, but they're very loving, compassionate. They have a lot of wisdom and knowledge to share. And we're dealing with the unknown here. There are no experts, and but what I do have is experience. They have given me, a lot of experience. So, anyways, I'm going to throw on some of these vocals. I'll put this camper video from Steve's channel with some vocals that sound very similar to some of Neff's tones, Neff's antics, and his vocals. It's funny, the reaction from them in this video. There's no, there's fear on their part, but on the part of the Sasquatch, he sounds like a young male, like Neff was way back when, when he was about 17 years old, given all those boisterous antics. It's very similar in that, and he sounds, very much the same, roughly about the same age. Similar vocal tones, and There's other stuff out there too that are comparable. You know, some of the shed talker stuff that MK Davis has put out. There's another video that was posted back in, 2013. I think it said out of Georgia. I've seen the audio come up recently on a lot of different people trying to pass it off as their own. I'll put a couple of those links in the description field too. I'm just going to use the one video from Steve's channel to show the comparison. You know, the audio has always been my favorite. At this point, though, I do love having that written communication. You know, gaining those responses, and it's just phenomenal to learn that way. You know, through these very efficient, incredible, compassionate teachers. You know, that are much further evolved than we are. The epitome of don't judge a book by its cover. That's what Sasquatch are. They truly are. They can do things that just break the mold, right? They change everything. They change the game, and science needs to pull its head out of the sand, mainstream science, and start acknowledging this, you know, and step away from the denial. Because in the end, it's egg on the face of mainstream science that they've gone so long with the compiled evidence, tens of thousands of sightings, and you know, and we're still at this. Oh, do they exist? Fuck, just insane. It's really, you know, it's stupid. So, anyways, so you know, here's some of the audio from Neff. And I'll play that video and a little more audio after Neff, or a little more audio and Neff after that. And enjoy and have an awesome day.
Hear that? Get Trevor. Austin, get the light. Fuck. Hey! That was not an elk. Where's that coming from? Get my keys. Oh, get ready. Dude, fuck that. Fuck that. Everybody, get in my truck. You hear that? You hear that? Where's that coming from? Where's that coming from? Where's that coming from? amazing.
Yo,
Neff, my friend. Yo.
you know what?
Oh, my friend, it's been a long time. Love you, buddy. Yeta who?
You know what?
You're a good man.
You know what? You know what?
Can you say that again?
There was a house. You know what?
Can you speak up, my friend? Can you be louder? Oh, it's good to hear your voice, Neff.
You need God to have you.
You, my friend.
You.
I miss you, my friend.
Red.
You know who?
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 I did. Oh. Oh. Oh.
And who? Now, to you, my friend. What is, ooh-da?
Two. Yeah. Two. Da. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. Ooh. Ah.
Love you, buddy. Thanks for coming into my life, my friend.
Let's go.
Really happy to have you in my life, my friend.
Let's go. We love you.
Aw. Aw. That's very nice.
We love you. Ooh.